Ah. The first generation of leftover women in Hangzhou has already moved into nursing homes. According to statistics, most of them express regret. When they were young, they only thought about enjoying life, with the mindset of one person eats well, no one else goes hungry. Now, in old age, they have no children, no relatives, and no companionship. In their daily lives, they don't even dare to get sick, fearing that if they end up in a hospital, there will be no one to sign documents for them. In nursing homes, with no support, they have to endure the attitudes of others. Their properties are coveted by others, and they end up living alone, bitter, until the end of their lives, with no one to care for them or provide a proper funeral. Regret. But it's already too late.
I am one of those women who remained. I've passed 30 and now when I look back on my life, regret gnaws at me every day. I was once full of ambition, self-confidence, and high expectations. I believed I was special, educated, successful, independent, and I felt that I deserved a man who matched my success, ambition, and intelligence. I had dreams of love that were built on idealized fantasies. I wanted someone who was everything: good-looking, kind, successful, emotionally mature, and deeply committed. I used to think that love would be like a perfect movie, with laughter, deep conversations, shared dreams, and a partner who would stand by me through everything. But reality has taught me that love is not about perfection. It's about compromise, communication, respect, and the willingness to work together through difficulties. It's about supporting someone and being supported, even when things aren't going as planned. And now, I see that I let so many opportunities slip away because I was chasing something that didn't exist. I had high standards not only for myself but also for the men I considered dating. I thought I needed someone who met all my criteria, someone with a stable career, ambition, a good social background, and impeccable manners. But time has shown me that love often means accepting imperfections. The man I rejected because he didn't meet some arbitrary standard could have been someone who would have stood by me, someone who would have built a life together with me. Someone who, with time, could have become a true partner. The pressure society places on women like me is overwhelming. My parents wanted me to get married early, to settle down, have children, and secure a stable family life. In their eyes, a daughter's happiness comes from having a good husband, a comfortable home, and a family that would bring stability. This pressure is not just about tradition, it's about their hopes and dreams for me, their desire to see me happy and secure. But I ignored these expectations, thinking that love would wait for me until I found someone who met my high and often unrealistic ideals. Now, at 30+ years old, I see the reality of my choices. The dating scene is not what I once imagined. Most men around my age are already settled, with families and responsibilities. Many younger women get married before me and live lives I once hoped for myself. And I'm left with the truth that love doesn't always come when you demand it. Sometimes, love comes when you least expect it, when you stop chasing perfection and start building something real. I've learned that relationships are built on mutual respect and shared commitment. A successful relationship is about growing together, supporting each other through challenges, celebrating each other's successes, and comforting each other during failures. It's about compromise, patience, understanding, and the choice to work through difficulties rather than abandon them at the first sign of trouble. My regret is not just about missed love but about missed opportunities for personal growth. I missed chances to learn from someone else's perspective, to build a life with someone who might not have been perfect but who would have been real. I missed moments where I could have experienced vulnerability, trust, and the strength of a true partnership. If I could go back in time, I would tell myself to be open, to be brave, and to prioritize real connection over unattainable ideals. I would learn to see people not just for who they are on the surface, but for their character, their dreams, and their willingness to build a future together. To younger women who are just beginning their journey, I'd say, don't let fear or pride blind you. Don't let high expectations prevent you from seeing someone's worth. True love is not about perfection, it's about partnership, acceptance, and growth. Find someone who makes you feel secure and loved, someone who will fight for you and with you, someone who will grow alongside you through good times and bad. Let's stop chasing perfection and start embracing reality. Let's build relationships that are real, strong, and lasting, relationships where love is about support, respect, and the willingness to grow together, no matter what life brings. I'd love to hear your stories too. Have you ever waited too long, missed a chance for love, or settled for unrealistic ideals? What do you think love really means to you? Share your experiences, let's learn from each other.
广州的天就是这样的。
The sky in Guangzhou is like this. It just rained heavily. And then the rain stopped quickly. It feels amazing. And brings a refreshing breeze. Today, I saw a micro-post on WeChat, talking about single women in their late 30s in Shenzhen. Many of us, like myself, were influenced by these toxic pieces of advice. We lived only for enjoyment in our youth, without saving a penny. I also did that. In my 20s, I believed life was meant to be lived to the fullest. Making money? That was a man's job. I should be out enjoying myself, traveling and having fun. But now, at 33, I find myself without savings, without a stable relationship, and with no clear future. I've been in relationships, yes. But he never wanted commitment. He bought a car, bought a house, and ended up with a 25-year-old girl. I feel lost. I spent years working in a foreign trade company, earning just a basic salary, while my boyfriend, a technician, earned a bit more. Together, we couldn't even save up the down payment for an apartment. I believed that, with time, things would work out. But time only brought more frustration. I didn't follow the advice to invest in myself, to address financial and relationship issues in my youth. Now, looking back, I see I made the wrong choices. I should have focused on my future, accumulated resources, and made more mature decisions. But now, at 33, I find myself without a place to call home, and a love that became just a distant dream. I understand that this is the reality for many of us, who were taught to believe youth was an endless resource. But the truth is, time passes, and without planning, all that remains are regrets.
I'm a woman from Hyun, currently working in the beauty industry here in Guangzhou. A few days ago, I went on a blind date, and at the time, I found some of the things the other person said a bit hard to accept. But now that I've had time to reflect, I realize that what they said makes sense. After all, I'm already 29 years old, and in Hyun, 29 is often considered an older age for women to get married. So, if someone prefers to find a younger partner, I can understand that. Honestly, I'm not desperate to get married or actively looking for someone through these arranged dates. I still believe it's better to find someone with whom I truly connect, someone whose personality complements mine. Some of my friends might say I'm being too picky, that I'm stuck in a mindset of not settling for the best or the worst. But that's not entirely true. Maybe I am being selective because, when I was younger, I met many great people. In Central Hyun, there are a lot of individuals with high standards of living, and I used to frequent those circles. However, I never managed to build deep relationships with them because it always felt like they lived in a completely different world from mine. Looking back, I realize I was probably too focused on superficial qualities. I cared more about someone's status or financial situation than building a genuine connection. Perhaps that caused me to miss out on valuable opportunities with people who might have been good for me. Now, I feel that it's not about being overly critical or hard to please. It's just that I don't want to settle for something that doesn't feel right or authentic. As a 29-year-old woman today, attending these arranged dates and hearing others' opinions has made me reflect on how I used to approach relationships. I was likely too demanding in the past, with expectations that were too high, and now I'm stuck in a situation where I can't seem to move forward. I think I focused so much on an idealized future that I forgot to appreciate the present. I'm not entirely sure how to put these feelings into words. Perhaps I just need some time to sit quietly and think about everything. Hey everyone! I'm Isho. Today, I want to share a bit of my story with you. I'm 33 years old, and honestly, I'm starting to question a lot of things. I waited for him to buy a car and a house. But instead, he ended up marrying a 25-year-old girl. As time goes by, I find myself becoming more and more anxious. The only comfort I've had so far is having a boyfriend who always treated me well. A really caring guy who looked after me. But the only problem is that we still don't have a car or a house. I work as a saleswoman in a foreign trade company. And if I don't close deals, my salary is only around 2,500 yuan a month. My boyfriend, a Zhao, is a technician and earns about 5,000 yuan a month. Together, our salaries are considered decent in our small city. But when you compare it to housing prices, we can't even afford a square meter. I just don't understand how we got here. Since graduation, we've been together for 8 years. But in all this time, we couldn't even save up for a down payment on a house. I really feel like I made the wrong choice. I believed he was the right partner for me. But now, at 33, I have nothing to show, no home of my own, no achievements. Living in a shared rental house made our relationship fade little by little. After several moves, I finally exploded. I hate myself for making the wrong choices. For being 33 years old and still not having a personal space. I ended the relationship to try and start my life over. After breaking up, he quickly arranged a meeting in the countryside. Met a simple and pure girl. And in just a month, they got married. The girl is in her early 20s. And her smile, with those small dimples, makes my heart ache. Seeing the two of them hugging on the wedding stage, I couldn't stop the tears. Did I have expectations that were too high? Was he really never meant to be my husband? You know, looking at all of this, I wonder if, at my age, I don't actually have an acceptable appearance, right? So why does my fate look so different?
Hi, 大家好，欢迎收看橙子说情感，我是主持人。
Hi everyone. I'm one of those women who didn't end up married, and today I want to share a bit of my experience with you. Living up to 100 years means only about 36,000 days. And there are things that, if you're late, can mean missing out on opportunities. Many women like me face dilemmas when it comes to love and marriage, not knowing what choice to make. The struggles of women who didn't marry are about the search for a partner. That ends with us staying alone. People often think that these women don't get married because they have high expectations or don't meet the right criteria. But the truth is, many of us don't really understand what marriage is about. In the prime of our lives, we chose to stay single. For example, I built a successful career, have financial independence, and often earn just as much as a man. People see me as a strong woman, and men don't hesitate to praise my professional performance. But dedicating too much energy to work and neglecting relationships led me to become this older woman who couldn't find love. Over time, I realized that I'm not as attractive as I once was. Men and women are different. Men, as they age, become more mature and financially stable. That's why older men end up being more desired. No matter their age, they tend to prefer younger women. Another point is that as my expectations grow, others might not meet what I'm looking for. I know that when I was younger, I still had the chance to make choices. But now those choices are becoming fewer and fewer. If I'm not financially independent, my opportunities become increasingly limited. My biggest fear isn't growing older, but growing old without achieving anything meaningful, without grace. I can age, but I don't want to live worse. If I'm not financially independent, my choices will only shrink further. That's why I believe it's crucial for us women to work hard and build our independence from a young age. If I'm demanding and want a real love and a happy marriage, I need to work on becoming a better version of myself every day. That's what I wanted to share with you today.
At 36 years old and still unmarried, there must be something wrong. It's likely that I won't get married in this life. Many people have a negative and prejudiced view of older women who haven't settled down. I'm Choyue, 36 years old, a single, unmarried woman, living alone for many years. I'm not against marriage, nor do I reject it. But now that I've reached this age, I've decided to stick to my standards, without settling for less. To me, love means two people truly together, wanting to stay side by side forever, entering marriage with love and commitment, not just following social pressure. Hearing advice like, "It's time to get married. Don't let your parents worry. If you don't have kids soon, you'll miss the best age for it." A person shouldn't live in the eyes of others, but rather in their own world. Getting married late is not something I wished for. If I could, I'd hope for a smoother relationship, finding someone early on, and building a life together until the end. But life is unpredictable. Not everything happens as planned. Now, even though some see me alone and lonely, I enjoy the life of being single and independent. I have all the time in the world to do what I love. Clear goals. Living at my own pace. No rush. No unrealistic expectations. And I feel everything is just getting better. Today, after work, I made a cheese and beef rice bowl, and a homemade yin lianzi dessert, with lots of melted cheese. High-calorie food that satisfies both body and soul. After dinner, I took a hot shower, went to bed early, lit an aromatherapy candle, and knitted a scarf in silence, enjoying that moment, finding peace in my own time. Age is not a woman's currency. It's health, positivity, and self-confidence that bloom from within. Whether married or not, the goal is happiness. The choice is always in your hands. Be confident and graceful. Live well. Immerse yourself in your own world, respecting every voice, but only being yourself. Even if the world sometimes feels cold and unkind, in my heart, it should be a garden of flowers that never wither.
The higher you are lifted, the harder you fall, and this applies to the financial situation of women who've been left behind. The idea of female power surpassing male power is a consensus shared by the Women's Federation and most companies, which led to women being highly valued while men were gradually devalued. But with the economic downturn, many men began to face reality. Companies and social media shifted their narratives, starting to undermine the status of women who've been left behind. As a result, the social standing of older women dropped dramatically. Why does it seem like society is now against these older women? It's because before reaching the age of older single women, they were seen as potential mothers. In Chinese culture, the special treatment given to women is ultimately based on respect for mothers and potential mothers. However, as time goes on, the likelihood of becoming a mother decreases, and society gradually withdrew the privileges it once provided. Many social norms offline, such as a woman who is 160 cm tall equals a man who is 180 cm tall, a woman earning $3,000 a month equals a man earning $10,000 a month, and a woman with a college education equals a man with a higher level degree, often assume that having children at home is necessary to make these comparisons valid. Women who are older, single, and without children, if they still try to meet these standards to be seen as high-quality women, are deluding themselves. This kind of discrimination is something men begin to face from school age, but only now are they fully experiencing and accepting it. Yet this is just the beginning. They haven't yet reached the critical point where quantitative changes become qualitative changes, which happens when their parents pass away or become unable to support them when the last person who cared about their future disappears. According to China's life expectancy statistics, this moment usually occurs about 22 years after the legal marriage age for women and around 12 years before the legal retirement age for women. Often this point coincides with menopause, meaning they would no longer have close family members. At that point, the remainder of their lives would be long, an accumulation of changes until their health begins to decline. That's when society withdraws its privileges, family members who supported everything pass away, and no one is left to rely on. Apart from a few self-sufficient, high-quality women, all that remains are those who are weak and vulnerable. Who else should be the target of this situation? Additionally, unlike older women who've only recently become targets, older men have already faced these struggles for a long time. Single men without family ties are often seen as potential threats to social stability, ignored, disregarded, and neglected, but their voices go largely unheard. So while the challenges faced by women who've been left behind might have less social visibility, it doesn't mean there won't come a day when their beliefs and expectations are completely shattered. What do you think about this dilemma? If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. See you in the next video.